Good deal. Welcome, y'all. Um, I am so excited. I can't see you, but I'm going to just say, it's pretty crazy that we're having an opportunity to take a U15 team to Limoges, France. Thinking in my wildest dreams, I would say, what? And now it's an opportunity. And then the staff that I met earlier, what a great opportunity. And um, I hope that everyone believes in miracles because it's a miraculous opportunity. And I hope everyone wants to change the world because it starts with a person in the mirror. And we've talked about that. And what our meeting will be about tonight is introducing ourselves to a program that a nonprofit called Just Right for Now, and that's a story for another time. But we've used basketball to open opportunities for young men, and we've taken tours to Macedonia now. This First Ladies tour to Limoges is going to be really exciting. And so when we started this, we had no idea what steps God was ordaining, but here we are. And it's a sure possibility. And here we go. So welcome, y'all, and thank you for taking time out tonight.
Yeah, just echoing what Coach had to say. Thank you guys so much. I've gotten obviously to work with a lot of you guys, but for those who haven't, I'm so excited that you're here. Just quick, I'm Maddie Nolan. I'm actually playing professionally in Limoges, France right now. I played 4 years at the University of Michigan, played 1 year at the University of Colorado Boulder, and before that, I graduated from Zionsville High School. Just love the game of basketball, love the opportunities it presents, and for all of us to be connected and to create lifelong memories from it. So here we go.
Mhm. And then we'll go ahead and introduce the rest of the staff. Coach Bo, we already went. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hi, everybody. My name's Raina. I currently live in Michigan. I know everybody here mostly through Maddie and Alyssa, but obviously had the pleasure of meeting everybody else too. Excited to be here. I played at Central Michigan all 4 years of my college career. We went to the Sweet 16, so definitely had a really good team back then. Then I was a GA at Michigan, which is how I know Maddie and Alyssa. And then I coached in the Big East. And now I'm actually a sports analyst for a company. We still work with college teams. Our company has a lot of teams, but I work with 7 Division I teams. I also played professionally in Italy, but I'm excited to be here and to work with everybody and obviously the players too. So
Mhm. Tia?
Awesome. Hey, everybody. So my name is Tia. I also played college basketball. I went D2 at Limestone University. I did end up tearing my ACL and meniscus my senior year. So as much as I wanted to play overseas basketball, that wasn't in the cards. But I did have the opportunity to go back to my college and coach for a year um, as a student assistant. And then I was able to coach middle school after. And I'm still able to be involved in the game now through like sports media, which has been awesome. And I'm not sure if I said this, but I'm in Georgia. So excited to meet you all.
Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa Crockett. I'm currently a senior at Michigan and I played with Maddie for a year and also had Raina as a GA, like we mentioned. But I went to Westfield High School, so I know a bunch of you are from the area, which is super exciting. But I'm just excited to be a part of this team and I love everything that it stands for. I found my faith here at Michigan, so I'm super excited to be of help and support and help disciple anyone who would like.
And hey, everybody, my name is Cam Phillips. I run an organization called True Change, to where we focus on developing curriculum and programs around career and life skills. So, hooked up with Coach a couple years ago, had the privilege of seeing the first couple of tours and going with the young men there. So, I help in the background with the curriculum and the program development and all those fun things. And then we have a guest who will join us just for a little bit. Go ahead and introduce yourself, John.
What's up, y'all? My name is John Beaulier, and I have been involved in college athletics. I've been a coach on the women's side for I think this is year 17. So I've been all over the South, University of Georgia, Samford University, Belmont University, and then I'm currently at Georgia State University. I was able to go on a trip last year. Obviously, it was a different trip. It was to Macedonia. It was a boys' trip. But I don't. I think besides that, the thing that I can say that's going to set this trip apart from a lot of different trips is the stuff, the team time, the opportunity to open up. And I also think there's going to be hard questions. You're going to be pushed out of your comfort zone, and I think in a really good way, not in a not in any way other than to expand the edges of where you are and who you are. And I also think one thing I really noticed as the week goes on, you're more comfortable with getting to know your teammates, ability to open up and share. And the the other thing is the people that put the most in, that made themselves the most vulnerable, were the ones that got the most out. So I think having that mindset heading into this of one, I'm going to be uncomfortable, but I'm going to sit in that and I'm going to put myself out there at the end of it is going to reap some really, really cool things. The leadership stuff, even the off court stuff that you guys will learn from the coaches and the staff is pretty invaluable. And I think the other thing is it's not just it doesn't stop there. The education continues, the follow up really continues. So it's more than just a week trip or a 10-day trip or 14, however long the trip is, and then you come back and you lose touch or there's no follow up. I think that's the cool part about this is it continues on, and this is just kind of the beginning of some really cool building blocks moving forward.
I love it. And so, Maddie, if you want to go ahead and set the stage for the rest of the call. John, we know you have to hop, but we love that you were able to join us, kind of give that insight from a coach's perspective and someone who saw the tour firsthand. Mhm.
Yeah, no problem. And feel free to reach out with any questions. Be happy to, hop on a call, Zoom, whatever. If anybody's got any other questions. I guess the other thing I would think about or say too is, you sending your kid overseas, the safety, all that stuff. I took my wife and our 4-year-old and our 2-year-old, and we were around the team the whole time. And again, I know it's a different country, but I know the layout of it. We never once felt unsafe. Everything felt great. We were well taken care of, well managed. So I know that's probably a big thought of it too. But again, we had our 4-year-old and our 2-year-old, and never once felt any type of in harm's way at all. So that's all I got. But feel free to reach out. Would love to help. Obviously, maybe not obviously, but Coach Bo's my dad. So I don't know if you're in good hands or bad hands or what you're in, but good luck with all that. All right, see you guys.
Love you, John.
Love you too.
All right, so as you guys can see here, we have the agenda. We're just gonna walk through tonight what the girls' trip is gonna look like, logistics, fundraising, cost, any questions that you guys might have, just going over all of it to make you feel at ease and help you make a decision for what you want to do for this summer.
Why do we do this? Um, I think the best way for me to explain it, I have to put my hand backwards. If you put your index finger and your thumb together and you always do what you've always done, you're always going to be who you've always been. And I obviously stole that from someone wiser than I. But when we take young men and young women somewhere, we tell them like, let's blow this up. And what we mean by that is, um, like John said, to get out of your comfort zone and experience some things that will challenge you to use the talents that you've been given and to have eyes that see differently and ears that hear differently. We're working on character and faith and leadership and relationships, and that's a big part of what we're all about.
Yeah, and so Coach Bo reached out to me this past summer. I trained his granddaughter, Avery. She is a freshman at Zionsville and said, hey, I run a nonprofit just right for now. We've done a couple of boys' tours over in Europe. Let me know if you want to get a girls' tour started. And so this was right before I left for France. So I was like, super cool idea. I have a lot going on right now, so let me just put this in my back pocket. Once I got settled in France, I reached back out to him and was like, hey, let's make this happen. I think it's just a great opportunity to like what Coach said, allow girls to get out of their comfort zone. But even just talking to them, when I was their age that they are now, seventh, eighth, ninth grade, I didn't realize all the opportunities that basketball could provide me outside of like I legit thought I was going to the WNBA when I was in the seventh grade, which is obviously not happening. Um, but just being able to come over here, connect with new people, see that there is professional opportunities, but even outside of basketball, just like they said, growing in leadership, growing in faith, getting to connect with strong, powerful women that we have, like with Crockett and Tia and Raina and myself, that have been through the recruiting process, that have been through college basketball, that have coached basketball at various levels and are now professional women, I think is just a huge opportunity. And for these girls to also get to play against some of the best U15 girls in France is just something that not a lot of other people will ever get to do.
Mhm. And then Raina, what got you involved and why do you feel like this is so important from your perspective?
Yeah, just talking to Maddie, like talking through the process and everything, and she was just kind of bringing the idea to my attention. I just left coaching not too long ago last season, and I knew when I left mostly because I want to be closer to home and all that, and I knew I would still want to be like involved in the sports because my favorite part, even when I was a GA, like Maddie and Alyssa, they were both players when I was a GA, and just watching them grow, like I was just thinking like how Maddie, like just seeing her in this setting, seeing her grow and like becoming into a woman and like taking stuff on her own. I think it's been huge. And just as I started playing sports, I definitely got more involved. Like with faith and my best friend in college, she grew up like very involved in faith, like always going to church and just I think the sport just kind of brought me closer to it. So I think that was really a blessing. And just Maddie just mentioning that I could help other young women kind of find their path as they're at this age and while they step into college, because that transition to college is definitely difficult no matter how high of a level you're playing at in AAU or anything. You're going away from home, even if you're only just an hour away. There's a lot of changes. So if you can rely on your faith and if we can hopefully give you some steps through this process to kind of grow into, I think that'd be a big blessing to be a part of that.
And I'll hop in next. For me, similar experience. I was able to speak to Cam about it first, and then able to speak to Maddie about it after, just the opportunity and what this really means. And for me, especially being like a former athlete as well, the sport just did so much for me. It opened so many doors, and for me, I found myself tying my identity a lot into the sport, which I'm sure a lot of people do. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't know I was doing it at the time. But then when the sport ends and you have to go into other things, that was a really trying time for me, I will say. And my faith is one of the biggest things that got me through that. And so to be able to be on the other side of that and to kind of know what that process was like for me, and it's different for everyone. But that's why I love that it's so many different people that are on this call, because you're going to get different perspectives, different experiences, and yes, giving back is huge for me, and this opportunity just it fit everything. So.
Yeah, thank all of y'all. Thank all of y'all. So kind of segmenting, we know this is a first girls tour, but we want to give some color on what the past tours have looked like. Um, so coach, you could start off and then I'll fill in the blanks.
Folks ask me like, why Skopje, Macedonia? I said that's exactly why. You don't even know where it is. Um, a lot of times people want to make it like a really cool place. Skopje, Macedonia is a really cool place. I've been there about 10 times, and our we call them boots on the ground. Our folks that are boots on the ground in Skopje are dear friends, and they've been to our home and we've been to their home. And so when we go to Skopje, it's 1.25 million people, and they receive us so well. And when we go there, it's obviously a cultural thing, but it's almost like we become family. And I do want to go forward and say, like, now Macedonia wants to come to the Atlanta area or come to the United States with their kids. And I love that bridge that's being built. We've played some high level competition. We played their U20 national team, and we did not take a team that was prepared for that. But every one of our players said, like, wow, I've got some stuff I need to work on. So that's part of that whole get out of your comfort zone. We've Macedonia, Skopje has goes back to the Ottoman Empire. So they have some roads that are still bricked from the time of Alexander the Great. And Lake Ohrid's the oldest lake in Europe. It's only like, I think, 900 feet deep. And it's so fun to jump in that pristine water and have some food at Lake Ohrid. Then moving into Limoges, that's not me. I only know it and can say it correctly because of Maddie. I've had to practice it, but I'm so looking forward to again because it's going to be the same thing. We're going to run into some really wonderful people, and a lot of times we stereotype where we are and what we've done. We want to blast that. We want to blow that up and have a great love for not only the person in the mirror but for the people that we're with.
Yeah, so obviously I can speak a lot more on Limoges. I've been here since August, and my mom actually flew over here with me, to just make sure I was settled. You know, you're living in a different country. And right before she left, I remember she looked at me and she's like, I know you're gonna be okay because you're surrounded by great people. And that has held true, whether it's my coaches, my teammates, the support staff, even our fans. Like, just going above and beyond to making me feel welcomed here, and making me feel like it's a second home and that I can lean on them, which has been really nice. But so obviously, like, you guys are on this call, reached out to a lot of you, and I know Coach and Cam have reached out to some people as well, but we're looking for U15 girls because the tournament we're playing in on June 6th and June 7th is U15 girls teams from all around France. We're supposed to play 7 or 8 games, and you're probably like, what the heck? But they're 20 minutes total, 10-minute halves, so you can play more teams than just playing 7 or 8 full games. Um, and it's in Limoges, so we'll play against my club's U15 team. So I've gotten to watch them a couple times. In the basketball, it's so cool because it's so uniting, throughout different countries, throughout the world. But it's also played so differently than in the United States. And so by that, I mean, they aren't as individually skilled, in my opinion, but they play really good team basketball. So it's kind of an odd mix to play against sometimes. You're like watching, you're like, oh, that doesn't look like it should work, but it does just because of how they've been taught to play the game. So I think that's another perk of coming on this trip is just seeing how basketball you can be successful in so many different ways. But yeah, so we're planning to fly out May 30th, the night of, and if no one's flown overseas before, usually you take a red eye, you'll land the morning of in Paris. We'll get to spend the day in Paris, which is I'm biased, obviously, but I think the best city in the world as of right now. Maybe ask me again in 10 years and I might have a different answer. But right now, my favorite city is definitely Paris. Then we'll be picked up in some vans. They call them mini buses for reference. And they will take us to the facility that we are staying at. We'll be there for about 5 days. We're gonna do a day trip to either Bordeaux or Toulouse, scrimmage a team before playing in the tournament, and then we'll take the mini buses to Limoges on June 6th, play in the tournament there on the 6th and the 7th, and then head home on the 7th or the 8th, depending on the scheduling. And this tournament is actually put on by my club. When I talked to them, they were so excited to have the opportunity to have girls from America come over. Instantly, they were like, we would love to send a team back to America if it works out sometime. So just that instant connection and to know that they're just so excited to have us. And they're like, we have a skills challenge you can do. Like, you're gonna play against some really good competition. And they're just so excited and so welcome. So I'm really excited that you guys will get to have a chance to kind of see what my life has looked like a little bit the past several months, and just have a little bit of the opportunity that I've gotten to have this year.
Now to the fun part. Coach, I'll let you start.
It actually cost $25,000, but we got a discount, so it's only 2,500. Just want to take that shock off you right away. That's not true. When you look at that cost of 2,500, most of that is based on the flight. And I think most of you on this call are aware of that. And what we've been blessed to be able to do is March 13th, we're having a golf outing, a fundraiser here in Georgia, in the Georgia area. And what we would love to do is be able to take 60% and pay that, and then 40% with the players and the family. And there are fundraising opportunities built in our organization that when you hit the button to say, like, I'm really interested in this, we'll talk more details in that. That covers the flight, all of the housing, 3 meals a day, some snacks, some cultural things, covers all the basketball gear that'll be just right, covers insurance. Trying to think, I think that's pretty much everything that folks would ask about. There's a few of the things that, like if we're eating at the airport or something, we typically try to have enough funds available that we take care of that. And then most of the cost that a player would get is all the gifts that they would want to take to grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles and everybody in Westfield and Zionsville and Indianapolis. And so we don't cover that. But that's kind of an overview. But again, once you say, like, I'm really interested in this, then we can get into all the details of what that 2,500 looks like with 60/40.
I'll add some color to it later. And then, Maddie, I know you talked about a lot of the dates.
Mhm.
Um, so if you want to touch on it one more time,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. So hoping to fly out the 30th, arrive the morning of the 31st. Like I said, spend the day in Paris, head to the facility. Their dorm like. We can send more information if you guys are interested in what those look like. But it's actually the guy who coaches our U15 team in Limoges runs this facility. So he's shown me pictures. There's a trampoline park that we have access to. There's a weight room. There's multiple basketball courts. They have a cafeteria, obviously like different classrooms and stuff. So we are going to be well taken care of there. And then when we go to Limoges, similar vibe, staying in a really nice facility with the other teams that will also be there. So it's kind of a cool opportunity there as well. As you guys can see, applications by March 2nd. And then we'll have the flight info out by March 11th.
And I'll go ahead and give a full disclaimer. The reason we have the application date and the flight information, those is it helps us with the fundraising. So the earlier we can get the applications in, the earlier we can go out, advocate on your behalf and help you with that process. And then obviously trying to lock in flights as soon as possible.
Yep.
Mhm. I'll kind of start with this and then I'll let Coach and Maddie take over. So before the trip, with the application, it goes over a lot of different things for your daughter. With it, it's going to be academic information, it's going to be athletic information, and also extracurricular information. The last part of it is them doing a short video on why they want to go on the trip. So this is part of a fundraising process to where we try to make it as easy as possible, to send that out to people, for you to send it out to your families, for us to send it to our internal networks to help with the fundraising process and make the trip possible. We can give a lot of story about kids who were like, yo, I really want to go. I don't know how. And once they've just followed the playbook, it they've fundraised above and beyond. So we want to walk alongside y'all, make it as easy as possible, and yeah, make this a reality. And so that's how we try to help before the trip. Once you start the application, it gives us permission to reach out, show that your daughter's interested, and then see what type of assistance your family may need.
Yeah, and then during the trip, we touched on it a little bit, but we have team time. So just we're not trying to only like improve our basketball skills, obviously, but the holistic person. So like we have here character, academics, relationships, faith, Alyssa, Raina, Tia, and I have talked about our different experiences, and I think we're going to be able to connect with just about anyone who wants to apply to this trip, share our different stories, the struggles that we've been through, whether it's middle school basketball, high school basketball, the recruiting process. We've kind of seen it all. We've Raina and I have both played professionally. I think Crockett might be looking into doing that next year. So we can share those. Obviously, that's a little while out, but just understanding, and I thought Tia did a really good job touching on this, that basketball is a part of who you are. It's not who you are, right? It's what you do. And understanding that has really helped me recently. So I think being able to go on a trip like this, obviously basketball is the vehicle, but you're going to learn so much more about yourself outside of basketball, which is, I think, going to be the true value of what you'll take away from this.
Well said. And if you look at the slide, if you can see in the background, that's a team time. So we had a boardroom in Skopje where our team would gather and we would talk about the things Maddie talked about, team time, character and academics and relationships and faith and building lots of things and trying to help direct the young people with questions that they would have.
And coach, I'm gonna steal your word on we're not catch and release.
We're
So
not.
when it comes to how we support them after the trip, from our first trip in 2014 or 2024, we have two kids from Indiana come, one Isaiah. So Isaiah top recruit, came back from the trip, tore his ACL going into his junior year. And we were able to walk alongside him. He has a success coach to help him during that mental recovery. And still, we have coaches in contact with him now. Gavin, he's another one, came on the first tour. He's currently going to Grace College. And Gavin, we talk to monthly on what's going on, hooking him up with internships, all of those things. So it's a real life. Once they come back from the trip, we want to stay invested with them. A few ways that we help is if they're interested in having a player profile done, we use that information from the application to create player profiles if they are reaching out to colleges or want that type of stuff. And then we have a virtual portal where they can access a lot of different resources to help them in their growth. Mhm. Maddie, what are the next steps?
Perfect. So we talked a little about it. Application, obviously you can see the form, but we'll also be sending it out to you guys after this if you're interested. Any questions, you can reach out to me. A lot of you have my number. You can get my email or number if you don't have it yet. I just talked to Coach Drudge today. For those of you, she's the head coach at Zionsville High School. We're going to plan an open run next Sunday, March 1st. We're going to work on the timing and we'll get that info out to you guys. But it's not a tryout at all. It's honestly an opportunity to come, get to play basketball for fun, get to know each other, and get to meet some of us in person. Obviously, I won't be there, but Cam and Coach will be there, so you guys will get to meet them and meet some of the other girls. And then we're having a dinner right after. It's about 10 minutes away at one of the girls' houses in Zionsville, so you guys will get to continue to build that camaraderie. And maybe if you have even more questions after we get off of this, you can talk to those there. Yeah.
Yeah, on that March 1st, we'd love to meet parents at the gym while the girls are having fun playing hoops and then with the dinner afterwards too. So if there's any kind of questions, let's meet each other and make sure that there's not questions that you still have.
Yeah, and you don't need to be applied to come to the open gym. Like it's just a great opportunity to come meet people, play basketball, and no pressure at all, right? Just for
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So after the call, like Maddie mentioned, we'll send a follow-up email with information on the open run. There'll be a short form for you to fill out just so we know the numbers, and then also can provide food for y'all afterwards for driving out to Zionsville. Don't want to waste your day. And also when it comes to the applications, you'll get an email with access to the application if you do want to go ahead and get that started. And here is Maddie's information, coach's information, and then coach's assistant's information to where if y'all have any questions, feel free to shoot any of them an email and we will get back with you.
And I'd like to say before we're off this, that if there are other girls that haven't heard of this that would qualify, we're open to everyone. And like Maddie said, this is not like a tryout. Let's just meet each other and see what direction we're going to go.
Want to open it up for any questions or anything top of mind? Mhm. All right. Um, I'll mention one thing before I let Coach and Maddie close it out. One thing we didn't touch on is the ability for them to go overseas. Because I get a question on why don't they just go to something in the States and go to a camp to win it's people from different teams. We had a player come last year. His name's Clay. He was going into his senior year. And when he came on the trip, he it was wild. Like he was like talkative, a team leader, outgoing, all these things. And at the end of the trip, we asked him like how he was going to take this back to his team. And his reply was, "This was the first time I got to try to be a leader the way I wanted to be." When he was in his team, when he was on a circle, these people have seen him, they've grown up with him, and he never had a chance to be outside of that bubble to where he could really flourish. And him going overseas gave him the chance to be around new people, new kids. He didn't have to worry about being judged, and he could just work on his development the way he wanted to work on it. And he was able to bring that back to his team. So as you're thinking about, hey, do I want to send my daughter to go alone and all these things? In me working with the students afterwards, one of the highlights is that they were able to go with kids that they didn't know and grow in different ways because they weren't around the normal circle.
Cam, I saw a couple questions. Like who are the chaperones? That will be like 10 players and 6 staff, maybe 7 staff, and the staff will be the chaperones. They'll be with the kids all the time. There will not, there's not downtime. We've got the schedule will be built in a way that we're basically together all the time. Obviously, there'll be rest time where they'll be in their rooms, but we're together all the time. I believe the flights are out of Indy.
Hmm.
I haven't seen directly if they're directly to Paris, but I think they usually go somewhere East Coast and then jump across the drink. So, Maddie, what is your experience with that?
Yeah, there are no direct flights from Indy to Paris. Usually you can go Chicago, Atlanta, JFK, kind of depends. I think we try to do Atlanta to make it as smooth as possible, to get any Georgia kids, but still obviously up in there.
Yes, and just to put names to the who are the chaperones, Maddie, Raina, Alyssa, Tia. You're meeting them on the
Yes.
call.
Don't leave me out. I'm going to be there a little bit.
You'll be there, but
And
you'll be
that don't please
grinding.
don't make that a deterrent. As crazy as I act, I do definitely protect these teams.
All right. Anything else or anything in the chat that I missed?
I lost connection for a minute, so I don't know if the question was asked already. But is the fundraising to cover the 60% or the 40%, which is covered by the family?
I think I'm going to say both. Does that make sense? So what we would do with fundraising is look at and work with each one individually, but we'd say we want 60% off the top coming from us. So let's just make it like if it was a say a $600 amount from the family, we really don't want the family writing a check out of your own personal account, to be honest with you. We've built a strategy of it came from my brothers who helped out with the other trips. and they would say like get a list of like 30 people, 10 folks that might have been elementary teachers, youth basketball coaches, some people that you're not crossing paths with all the time. Get 10 people that maybe are your current school teachers, your current neighbors, and then make your third group of 10, make them like family and more personal friends. And out of that, what Cam alluded to was we already have a system where they would have a personal testimony and then some other stuff put in place to send out. And with that, we always will accept because it does cost above your 40%, but 40% would be kind of what would be the expected amount raised with a golf outing. Like if you're with a company that would be interested in being a whole sponsor, that would take care of a huge amount of the funds. And I hope that helps a little bit with your question.
It does. Thank you.
You're
I think
welcome.
to add on that, a group he didn't mention that has been very helpful in the past, churches, business owners, and more of the corporate sponsorship. So when we come on the first, that's what we're going to go over is giving you things to where if you do have people in the mix, and we're happy to be in the mix of those conversations, um, yeah, getting them on board to support future leaders in the community.
Yeah, and to your question also, some families have said we don't want to do any of that. We're going to just write the check, and they had the means to. And some families are saying like we really can't afford anything, and that's where Cam really has built a wonderful system to be able to help assist that, and we stand beside and make that happen. And we've had people that are kind of like mentors that work with the players. So we tell the parents we really want to work with the players to help with this. It's such a good experience, and we've gone from 0 to 3,500 with some players that I knew growing up that their parents were saying like, "There's no way," and they went with us. And so we're really excited to work with y'all on that.
Mhm. All right, Maddie, I will let you close us out.
Perfect. So thank you guys again for joining. I know it's super busy. We're right still in the middle of basketball season for a lot of you guys. I don't know if you guys know it's 2 a.m. my time. So I hope you understand how much this trip means to me and how much I really appreciate you guys hopping on. As always, any questions, please reach out. I'm so happy to help with anything. And if you guys don't like can't come or something just doesn't happen, or if you think of someone else who might want to come, please, please, please let them know. We are so open to anyone joining. We want to make this the best trip possible. And yeah, feel free to reach out about anything.
All right, meeting adjourned.